Hey, welcome to Bouncecast.
Yeah, we were just kind of editing the video, and we decided, hey, you know what? We're
talking about a lot of cool things. Why don't we just put this
talk?
on an episode of whatever?
So the topic that we were talking about was Fire Emblem, because in case you don't know, it's one of my favorite series, and
this is my childhood.
And unlike me, Elliot's not that excited for Three Houses, but I understand, especially.
I would say I have reservations.
Oh no, I understand, and especially, we were talking about this. I do not think they've officially revealed who's localizing it.
Mm-hmm.
But
localization is when they take a Japanese game and make it American.
In case you don't know, Awakening was localized by this one company, which did, frankly, fantastic job.
Yeah, professional.
The story wasn't anything great, but the locals, the voices and just the lines are classic. They're funny.
Yeah.
Fates is terrible.
They didn't feel stilted, you know?
Yeah.
It flowed together.
Fates' lines, script, was localized by, I think, the Treehouse staff. I think that's what they were. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Terrible.
If
you've ever read one of the lines, okay, reading them, just like being there with the 3DS, just like looking at the screen, reading it in your head. It's like typing a paper.
Yeah.
You can't get typos on a paper whenever you're just typing. And for advice for high school, college, wherever you are, if you're writing a paper, put it through Google Translate. Let it, in its robotic voice, read it out to you, and you'll be able to be like, ooh, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
It's really good advice, and I feel like they should have done that for the Fate script. Because it just has the line delivery is just so awkward, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Shadows of Valencia.
Oh, Shadows of Valencia. It's my favorite game.
The Awakening team came back to localize Shadows of Valencia, and can I just say, it shows.
I was telling my girlfriend when over the summer we went to Florida for a week because my dad had a conference, and before we left, I had about $40 in my bank account. And I decided, hey, I might as well pick up a game to play on the way down because we had a long flight, not too long, like 2 hours, but down and back. And I told her, that game, it really got me. Like, that week, I could not put it down. I just beat it. Because everything is voice acted, and it's high-quality voice acting. Like
absolutely.
They're American, and you can tell that they were given directions on how to make their vocal inflections mean something. And just having even the text boxes voice acted kind of pulls you in like a movie. And you just can't stop because you're invested with the characters. And you just want to see how it ends.
Can I just add something? And this is just one of the best features about that. And from what I've heard, Three Houses may be fully voice acted. I'm almost positive it's going to be.
They probably will after the success of Shadows of Valencia.
The autoplay, just having it so that the text boxes just kept going. And so it just flowed.
They pace it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Like, I think a few games before have done autoplay. Auto scroll.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's like, all right, wait 5 minutes, and now the next text box, But you can tell they went through and individually paced each text box.
And it's wonderful.
Or at least they had a program that did it for them.
And even if you didn't like the autoplay, you could turn it off.
Yeah.
So
you could click at your own pace if you needed to kind of let the line saturate.
Or for me, I had to go up, do some chores and stuff like that, and I leave my 3DS on, so I just would press the button, walk out so it wasn't on autoplay, and just walk back in and be like, hey, story time again. Story time with Uncle Gray. Hey,
Tobin. Hey, Tobin.
Hey, Tobin.
What? Gray.
But I love that, and I'm glad that they brought the team back, but from what I've heard, and again, I think I don't think it's been confirmed, but I think it has been confirmed that they are not coming back from Shadows of Valencia to localize Three Houses. They have not confirmed that it's the Treehouse staff, but if it is, God help us all.
Let's look it up right now.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Fire Emblem localization.
But before we left, I was talking. Or before, we started, I was talking.
Before we figured out this would be a good idea.
Yeah. I was talking about, hey, a lot of the characters in Fate sucked. I was like, the only reason I like one member of the royal family of Hoshido, that is Hinoka. That's a personal thing. I like redheads. Mulaney, if you somehow find this, you already know about this. She's like, I'll dye my hair red. And I'm like, you don't have to. And she's like, but you like redheads. And I'm like, yeah, but I like you too.
I mean, I won't stop you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop.
It's your life.
Yeah.
But
Besides that, on the other hand, the Norian royal family. You say you hate Leo because of his hair.
Yeah.
His hair did look very shaggy and kind of dumb.
he just. For those of you who don't know, I haven't played Fire Emblem Fates, but I had a sister who played through it, and I've seen a lot of cutscenes, and like I've experienced the gameplay, and from what I've seen, it's really turned me off. Just the characters seem to be heavy stereotypes.
To be fair, you ain't missing much.
From what I've heard.
I mean, you've heard the song, right? Lost in Thoughts All Alone.
Yep.
Have you heard the version that Azura's son sings?
She has a son?
Matt Mercer voices the son.
Crom!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually...
That's weird if he's playing a son.
He sings the song.
He seems like he'd have some
And
sultry chords.
It's honestly really good because they have a part where they duet together.
Really?
And it's really good. But...
See, side note, sometimes I'm a music geek, but there's only a few pairings of male and female vocals I think that actually truly work. Is when like the female is obviously a higher pitch range than the male.
Are you saying you're not a fan of Bruno Mars and Cardi B?
No. I don't want to lose our audience now. I'm just saying a lot of songs they pair together a guy and a girl who have the same vocal range and they just don't mix the harmonies.
Oh, absolutely.
But I really do enjoy the few songs where they match some good singers together, and then it really creates a different melody.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Matt Mercer, honestly,
Side note. First
off, he's the voice actor for Yusuke in Persona.
You in Persona.
You haven't played it. Honestly, he can drop down some really good chords.
Yeah.
The man can sing. He has some good pipes on him. I mean, obviously, you listen to his voice and you're like, sultry.
Yeah.
I like two members of the Norian royal family. I like Leo. I think it's funny. Again, you haven't played Fates. One of the like running jokes is the fact that he likes tomatoes.
Really?
He loves tomatoes. Like he'll just eat them, and it's a running joke. And it's actually the way they play through it. It's actually decently.
I was gonna
funny.
say that sounds kind of weird, but I guess it'd be okay.
Because it's like a little quirky thing about him, and it generally they play it off pretty well, and it's actually really decently funny. But Elise, the little girl with the annoying voice
and the annoying hair and the annoying staff and the annoying background and the annoying character development and dies.
See, spoilers. Also, you haven't played Birthright all the way through, have you?
No.
Okay.
Does she live in that one?
No. I'm pretty sure that's the one she dies in. Don't.
Okay.
But anyway, there's a part where it's revealed that she sneaks out of the castle to go live with the townsfolks with her nanny that got kicked out.
Really?
And sells flowers.
Huh.
And she actually finds Corrin and the Hoshiden royal family as they're invading a town on the outskirts of I think it's Castle Krakenberg, but and I like that. I thought that was a really interesting thing. And had the localization not been so bad, controversial opinion, I know, I'm throwing it out there, you can take it. Xander would probably be the best character in Fire Emblem had the localization team not messed it up.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Spoilers, he kills Elise.
He's the one that kills
He's the one that kills
You're
Elise.
right, he does.
And he laments over it.
Like he was following orders, yeah.
But again, the localization kind of messed that up. But anyway, he's dedicated to his kingdom, but not in the obsessive way that Ryuma is, where it's kind of like, okay, calm down there,
Come
big
on,
bro.
lobster man.
Calm down, Larry.
Yeah.
To the point that he turns on his own father.
Oh, Ryuma?
No.
Xander?
Xander. Well, I mean, Ryuma does too. Spoilers for Revelation, but
I don't think anyone who's listening to this right now has played it, but
hey, listen.
that's okay.
It's not a terrible game. If you're gonna play a Fire Emblem game, that's one of it's. I'm pretty sure it's the best selling Fire Emblem game. Just because of how they advertised it by like, hey, look, Corrin's in Smash Brothers, guys. Fire Emblem's relevant.
Please buy our game.
Please buy our games. But
Yep. Oh, just pause right here. I did confirm the team that localized Awakening and Echoes is not coming back on Three Houses. So you were right, Nathan.
okay, I thought I was. They have not confirmed that Treehouse is.
Oh, they tweeted out and they said, lots of folks asking if we're working on Fire Emblem Three Houses. Not this time, sorry, but we're crazy excited to play it.
Yeah, because, oh my gosh, they did such a good job.
Let's just hope that they listen to the backlash from Fates and crack down on whoever's
100%
localizing it.
Well, I mean, obviously they did. They brought them back for Echoes.
That's true.
Because like
true.
that was
I didn't
one of
think
the
about that.
was one of the biggest complaints. Because you haven't played Fates, so your opinion is a bit
Biased.
lacking. I'm gonna say
I'll give you that, yeah.
the maps were awesome.
I did hear the maps
The
were really
maps
good.
were incredible.
I was
The
gonna
way they
yeah.
use terrain and like for one
Environment
example,
effects.
yeah, I think I told you about this example.
The-
Revelations. There's a part where you're fighting Camilla, Wyvern Rider. You know, one everyone likes.
Very divisive, let's just say.
The ocean is
yeah.
frozen over. She stops your ships from going by activating a dragon vein and literally freezing the ocean.
Wow.
And the way that you get to her ship, because all of her units are flying units and are able to get over to your ship, the way you get to her ship is by calling up pillars of ice to travel between the ships.
That's awesome.
It's amazing,
that's
frankly.
awesome. Yeah.
It's really nice. And I did actually hear that was one of the biggest complaints about Echoes. I remember hearing that specifically, that people were like, wow, coming from Fates' diverse maps where nothing was repeated, and going to
don't
Shadows of Valencia's
Don't
maps,
get me started.
it was so lacking. And it's like, okay, yeah, but it's an NES game
You're going to get me started.
from like a long time ago.
I'm revving up. Oh, I'm revving up.
Go for it. Let me sip my
Fire
tea.
Emblem's Shadow of Valentia is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden from the NES. Gaiden, if you don't know, is Japanese for side story, because after the first Fire Emblem release,
Is it
they
really?
yes, if you, a lot of things, like there was a Zelda Gaiden, I believe, that they were planning in the
okay.
after the original Zelda.
Sorry.
Yeah, but after the first Fire Emblem release, they weren't sure where to go, so they decided to make a side story while they conceptualized Marth's next adventure, because originally Marth was going to be like the main character in all the games. So in between the first and second Marth adventures, they had a side story featuring this guy named Olm. Well, they decided to just experiment with Gaiden. They had dungeon crawling aspects like your own Dragon Quest or Pokemon.
Mind you, not as like
It's not like
it's not like Shadows of Valencia where you're like, oh, I'm exploring a dungeon. It was kind of
just
like
moving across a map, and then occasionally activating a battle. They had only swords and lances that could be wielded by your characters. Axes weren't even a thing. Like axes didn't come in until way later.
yeah.
You had just loads of features. But the one thing everyone either loves or hates about Gaiden is how difficult the map structure is, because they actually planned out the maps like a puzzle. Every single enemy placement, everything balanced, everything is just designed to give you a challenge, because it's a puzzle game.
Yep.
In a sense, it's strategic like chess. You need to plan out your moves, because one wrong move, your guy's gone. Because in Fire Emblem, when your guy's dead, you can't use him for the rest of the game. So Gaiden, the levels were crazy. And when moving from Gaiden to Shadows of Valentia, they completely copy and pasted the levels and then adapted them for the new gameplay mechanics to keep the spirit of Gaiden alive with how difficult the levels were. But it still gave a challenge, and they even gave you compensations like the Miller's turn wheel, which could turn back your turns in case the levels were too hard for somebody. And they kept casual mode, which I'm not a fan of casual mode, but that's another.
I understand why it's in there. I mean,
it's for people who want to experience the story.
Yeah.
Which story 10 out of 10.
Good example of that. Well, okay, so
Rant over.
no. So one of the biggest things that, like, I remember going into Shadows of Valentia, I bought it. I'm pretty sure. No, I pre-ordered it.
Mm-hmm.
I had it and I was like, awesome, because I remember we were talking about it. We were super excited about it back then. Going from Fire Emblem 1 to Gaiden it's a drastic.
It's night and day.
Well, if for nothing else, and one of the biggest things that actually it genuinely caught me off guard is there are so many terrain effects.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, if you stand on this space, you heal. It's like, wow, you just randomly have, like, enemies have 40% accuracy if you're standing
that's
what
randomly.
And it's like, oh.
I thought I would hate that, but I actually love that because it makes you start thinking about where you place your units. It's not just shove them forward, let's kill some guys. It's if I stand on this tree instead of this grassy plain, I might not hit. It's not I might not hit. You will not hit.
Yeah, it's
anything below 80% accuracy will not hit in Shadows of Valentia.
Things,
which I love.
That kind of just completely caught me off guard was like, because Fire Emblem trees give you evasion. They do that in all. I'm pretty sure all the games. Don't quote me on that, but
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure all the games. Grass does nothing, and like floor does nothing. Stairs in Shadows of Valentia have an effect where if you're actually higher up, you have higher accuracy. Yeah, if you have
higher... That I believe was introduced in Path of Radiance.
Really?
Because of the shifted 3D.
I remember Radiant Dawn, there was that level where Soth came in from the back door.
And you're storming the castle.
But so they took that into effect. But also like tile, like floor, not ground. Ground didn't do anything. But like if there was like tiled floors, you would just randomly, like, enemies would have 20 evasion, and then you would have 20 evasion. Yeah. Which made it so that they wouldn't hit, sure, but you also wouldn't hit. And it was like...
It's a stalemate.
All right. Thanks. And I think there were some units that could... Oh, it's mages. Mages in that game were weird because they don't do accuracy checks.
I love that... No, I really enjoy that... For once, you don't have to buy tomes. Like any sort of skill you would learn at like a monastery, the magic spells are in their memory. And in order to use the magic, they have to use HP points, which I think is very clever because then you have to balance. I have a really powerful healing spell that can heal my team, but it'll leave this guy vulnerable, or I can heal a couple guys and still be able to make it through the turn.
Okay, so... I just remember this. Again, if you played... I know you have, obviously. We've been talking about it. But like Shadows of Valentia, Celica's route, in my opinion, had one big complaint from me personally. And that's just that almost all the characters can heal. But despite that fact... I specifically remember one of the characters I never took off my team because I felt bad if I removed it from my team was Ginny.
Yeah.
The little like pink haired lamb girl or whatever.
Yep.
I never took her off the team.
Did you make Atlas a sage?
The villager that Celica gets? No, I did not. If
you make him a sage, because his attack stat is naturally high because he's a warrior, which all the magic, its damage is based on attack stat. He learns Sagittae.
Really?
At an earlier level.
That's the
highest.
The undead killing move, or not undead. What are they called? Revenants.
Yes.
The move that's like super effective against undead units.
It might have been unversed. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
There's too many names for zombies in games.
Yeah.
But he learns Sagittae.
Risen.
That's
the word.
Yeah. But he learns Sagittae at an earlier level, which gives you, I believe, an 8 range, and it does at least 30 base damage. It's insane because of how high his attack is. If he does him one shot, he leaves him at 1 HP. And it's the spell where he throws it, and it has the piercing light things.
Yeah.
Atlas is 100% recommended, in my opinion, as a sage.
I'm trying to. Okay, so controversial opinion about Shadows of Valencia and Gaiden, I guess. I've never played Gaiden specifically, but like, I'm not the biggest fan of the story.
Really?
And I think I've actually complained about this to you.
A little bit, yeah.
I've never understood Celica's side. Alm is a hero, right? You know, he's on this epic quest or whatever. That's what I remember specifically complaining about it because the ending felt like a bit of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because the entire game, you go through this entire game where it's like, oh, Alm's just a farm boy. But he can't do anything. He's not a royal.
All his character arc and development is based on the fact that he's not nobility in this land of nobles and kings and everything, but he's still leading a resistance.
But then,
just on his own skill alone.
Spoiler alert, he's Rudolph's son?
Yeah, Rudolph, the big baddie.
The big bad guy.
Who started the war.
The Emperor Rudolph, he's the son.
Yeah.
It's like...
And he kills his own father.
It's like, oh, so you know...
his father decides to tell him that he's his son as he's dying. Yeah. With a sword through his stomach.
And it's like, oh, okay, so this entire game I've been going through it being like, oh, I'm just a farm boy who's leading a resistance. And they dropped hints every now and then like, oh, you know...
Mycen took him to the village. And has been watching over him, and Mycen was a great general in his army. Who was the other one?
One of Duma's disciples mentions it.
What's his face?
I
know who you're talking about. Jeddah. Yep.
Jeddah kind of hints at it a bit by whenever he's insulting Rudolph's nephew. He's like, you're not his son.
Lord Berkut.
Yeah, he's like, you're not his son.
At the end, when you're going through the dungeon, there's just that side dungeon where you can see Berkut as the fire monster.
Oh, that's his fiance?
Yeah.
The witch?
Oh,
she caught me so off guard.
That was so depressing.
Because she was like...
She was nice.
The entire time she was like, I don't want to witness fighting. And then she like... Fire demon thing. And it's like... Oh.
See, I think she could see the good in Berkut, but it was entirely like quenched by his pride, and he's the one who summons the darkness and turns her into a fire demon. Like, that just got me.
I do have to say though,
that cutscene was shocking.
Shadows of Valentia, and it may just genuinely be because of the voice acting. Any game with fully voice acted stuff. It instantly draws me into the characters because one of the things I get attached to in games, I get attached to the visual style, the characters, and the story. Yeah. One of the things that instantly kind of grabbed me, I absolutely adore the townspeople. The main cast of Alm, Celica, Gray, Tobin, Faye. What's the guy's? Cliff.
Cliff's the archer, yeah.
And no, Cliff is the mage.
Cliff is the archer. Cliff's an archer.
No, I'm joking. I chose Cliff as an archer. Yeah. I made Tobin a mage.
Really?
Yeah.
I kept him and Gray as dread fighters.
Well, because they kind of like whenever you're in the first town, they're like, oh, this is where Gray and I practice swords. This is where Cliff practices fire spells. This is where Tobin practices archery. So they kind of like hint at like, oh, okay.
That's what they're canon.
It's like canonically Gray is supposed to be the mercenary, which, I mean, come on. Who didn't make him a mercenary?
True.
If you didn't make him a mercenary, you're missing out. I love Gray. Fun fact, he plays your best friend in Shadows of Valentia, and he also plays your best friend in Persona 5. Ryuji, my boy. I'm going to keep mentioning it.
I know, that's the sad part.
I've been playing the game so much. I love it. Okay.
That'll be a separate bounce cast.
Okay, but I feel like you should play it, but like I also understand if you don't want to.
I see.
I'd be lying.
I would if I had a PS4.
You don't have a PS4?
No, Evie bought.
Evie has the
Evie
PS4,
bought one.
that's right.
We at home only have an Xbox One,
See,
which I don't even use that much. I only play Metal Gear Solid 5, which, side note, fantastic
good game, great game.
Yeah.
Side note: when it comes out for Switch,
Nintendo hit me up. I want a
what's
sponsorship
today?
in 4 years.
Well, it's like what?
Well, everything's coming to Switch now.
Side note. Well, I mean, okay, come on. They're announcing Joker's coming to Smash Brothers. It's basically confirmed because they were like, it's coming in April.
Yeah.
April 9th was the day that a lot of people thought that he was going to come in because the first day in Persona is the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were like, oh, he's going to come out the 9th. This is being recorded on the 12th?
Yes, sir.
It's being recorded on the 12th, so obviously that hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing that's coming up is on the 25th, Atlas is having basically what I'm calling a Persona Direct because I can't think of a better name for it, where they are announcing they're going into more detail about two different titles. Persona 5R, which is called Persona 5 Royal.
Is that the 3DS one?
No, that's Persona 5 QT or
Okay.
Q2. Persona 5 Royal, which is I think Persona 3 they had a portable edition for the PSP.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 4 they had a portable edition for the PS Vita.
Oh, yeah.
And that one was called Persona Portable was
Persona 4, trying to keep the Vita alive.
To be fair, it worked for a bit. Persona's a good game. Okay, but
Yeah.
Persona 3 was called Persona Portable.
Mm-hmm.
That game allowed you to play as a male character, which was canonical. Like the male character was the one that was used.
Yeah.
It was in the main game. But they also gave you the option of a female character. Being the female character allowed you to have different interactions with the male characters, kind of be like you had
Different dialogue.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because you're a female now. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, sick. It's like male and female in Pokemon. Changes some minor things, but not a lot. Persona 4 Golden, which was the PS Vita edition, I think allowed you to choose a female. I've never played Persona 4. I'm just going to be completely honest. I've only played Persona 3 and Persona 5 because you don't actually have to play them canonically.
Yeah. You know what I just realized?
What?
I'm sorry to interrupt. That laptop on the bed across the room
Is yours.
is
Yeah,
mine.
I know.
I was like, whoa.
I realized that a bit.
I was looking at the one behind me. I was like, why is there sound when I'm not talking?
But
Sorry, continue.
no. And then a lot of people think Persona 5R, they've already announced it's coming to the PS4 again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be coming to Switch or not. I also don't know if it's going to be coming to Xbox One. Of course, I'm not Atlas. I don't know these things.
Of course.
I wish I was Atlas.
Atlas, please hire me.
Atlas, please sponsor us. But Persona 5R, the only thing that they've shown off so far is a dialogue with a female character with red hair.
Really?
And there have been a lot of speculations, and there's two that I like. The one is that it's going to be like Persona 3 Portable, where you just had a male and female option, which allowed you to date. Because in Persona 5, you can date the female characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that they kind of give you the female option so that you can date the male characters. Because I'm going to be honest, I want to date Ryuji. I love Gray's voice actor. I want to date Matt Mercer.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I want that voice to put me to sleep every night. But
Good night, Nathan. I fight for my friends.
thank you, Matt Mercer. Very cool. But that's what some people are thinking. The other one, which I actually find really interesting because of the dialogue that's used. In case you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Just look up Persona 5 Art. It's like the first thing that pops up. It's entirely in Japanese because Atlas is a Japanese-based company. But you can translate it, which is nice. The dialogue kind of hits at the fact of the good ending. Spoilers for Persona 5. I hate spoiling Persona 5 because it's a good game. If you haven't played it, recommend it.
Yeah.
There are 3 endings. There's the bad ending, where you sell out all your friends. You tell them, like, oh, we're the Phantom Thieves. And it's like, yeah, it's a bad ending. You just basically turn yourself in kind of thing.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, but it's a funny ending.
Does it make sense? in the
Yeah,
story?
yeah,
Okay.
it makes sense in the context.
Cool.
There's the good ending, and I say good with quotation marks because that's actually what it's called,
Yeah.
ending, which basically makes it so that you accept an offer. That's as far as I'm going to go. and basically you continue working as the Phantom Thieves.
Oh.
And then there's the true ending, which is the final ending where you defeat the final boss and like all this happy stuff happens. Like, wow, everything's great now. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the true ending, which is it's the true ending.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are speculating that Persona 5R is going to take place from the good ending.
Huh.
Because the good ending, I'm going to spoil it a bit. You make a deal with the main antagonist to let him do his thing, and you continue working with your friends as the Phantom Thieves.
Okay.
And a lot of people are thinking that the girl is going to be taking place in the good ending, and she is going to solve the problem that the Phantom Thieves left.
Okay.
Which I think would be awesome, and I like it, but I also wouldn't be opposed to just having Persona 5 again with a female character. Would I buy it? Yes. Would it be a bad business decision? Yes. Do I care? No. Matt Mercer tucked me into bed every night. The other thing that they're announcing is Persona 5S.
Okay. Is that a Switch version?
We do not know what the S stands for, but a lot of people are speculating that it is Persona 5 Switch, which honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't do Persona 5 Switch. If you look up Persona 5,
It's very stylized, so they wouldn't have to turn down the graphics.
it's a very stylized game. It's infamous for being famous right now.
Yeah,
It's a very popular game.
and it's
Rightfully so.
It's not very hard to see why.
It deserves every ounce of praise. I went into it skeptical. I'm not an anime fan. I don't like weeb stuff. I never have. But I went into it because my friend recommended it to me, and Joker was coming to Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I paused the game and fell in love. Just with the stylized.
Yeah.
I literally was like, wow. And if they bring that to Switch, that's an entire new market. That's
Yeah.
opening up, because what? People are going to play Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is a super popular game. They're like,
Nintendo's knocking out #1 hits
yeah,
one
people
after
are
another.
like, who's Joker? Oh, he's on the cover of this Persona game. Well, I guess I'll pick up this Persona game.
Yeah.
Money. It's like it prints itself.
Nice.
Atlas. Bring it to the Switch. But that's what a lot of people are thinking Persona 5S is going to be. And I honestly would be very happy about it. And also a lot of people, that's on the 25th of April, by the way. So 13 days from when 2 weeks basically from when we're recording this. Check it out. They're
I'm
going
gonna
to
run up and grab a charge. I'll be right back.
That's
Nathan,
fine.
Entertain the people.
They're going to be announcing more about Persona 5R and what Persona 5S is. And I also am almost positive that's when they're going to reveal Joker is now in Smash Brothers. Which, please. I'm excited for it. And yeah, but yeah, long story short, if you have a PS4, you can pick up Persona. I picked up Persona 5 at GameStop for $20, and definitely worth the money. Just to say nothing else,
Hey guys, I'm back.
I've gotten at least, I think I'm at 160 hours in the game so far.
Wow.
That is with going to college and working a job and being a very active member.
But Nathan, bounce past your job.
Being a very active member in
Not until we
my
get paid.
church. It's, yeah. Am I a nerd? You know what? I may be.
Be proud.
I'm a nerd and I'm proud.
Yeah.
Is the video uploaded yet?
No, it's gonna take a while.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I mean,
Well, I'm not gonna be editing. This was just. Well, we were
it
just
was
in
an
here.
idea kind of thing. Well, I mean, we were editing, and it was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's do something while we're editing.
Because we were just talking, and we were like, this would be great just to record.
Controversial question.
Controversial answer.
What is your favorite game? I know.
That's a hard one.
That is a difficult question.
I've played many a game.
Oh, 100%. I don't even have an answer right now. I've got to
Yeah.
brainstorm.
See, here's the thing. I think I told you this last time we were talking. For me, I can choose a favorite game in the moment, like all-time
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
But then, like a week down the road, I'll start playing something else, and I'll just fall in love with the game. So I've kind of just developed a list of top games, and then I have the favorite game in the moment that's my all-time favorite.
That's a good way to put it.
Right now, stolen the spotlight and is still up there, Shadows of Valentia. Just the presentation of the game is phenomenal. One of the other all-time favorites would have to be probably both Lego Star Wars games, the first and the second, because just...
Do you mean like the complete saga?
Well, see,
Or...
my first ever video game, for those of you who don't know, when I've never really been like engrossed in video games my whole life. I've just seen my sisters play them, and
no.
sometime around my 11th birthday, I got a DS, and that's when I started really just starting to play games, just because I was bored. But the one game I did play throughout my childhood, I loved the game to death. It was my first video game ever, was Lego Star Wars, the original, on the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
I loved it so much that there's still a green Sharpie of my name on the disc. It's still there. It hasn't burned off. I can show you right now.
Does it still play?
Yeah.
Hey.
It plays fine.
I guess because you wrote it on the front.
Yeah,
Okay,
where
okay.
the label is. But I almost 100%ed that game. I just because I played it and I really liked it because I played with Legos.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the only reason I played it. It was like, oh, I can play with Legos on a TV screen. That's cool.
Wow.
So that one's always going to be close to my heart. Just because that's really where I think I got started playing video games.
That was a really good story. I liked it. I wrote on the disc with green Sharpie. It's mine.
I could have used more emotion.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Because again, this is a very difficult question.
Yeah.
I think we can all acknowledge it. If you're into video games, obviously. If I asked my girlfriend what her favorite video game is, she'd probably say The Sims because she literally plays.
Same.
She literally
My
plays.
girlfriend would say the exact same
She plays The Sims, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, but those two only when we're together. And
I think this is just the national girlfriend list of games they play.
Civ 5. I don't know when
my
she
girlfriend
got.
can
Or no,
kick
is it Civ 5 or
butt
Civ
in Mario
6?
Kart.
The newest Civ. And she loves it, which is really weird. But I mean, it's a good game, so nothing. Like, I'm not complaining.
Mulaney is secretly a dictator searching for world domination.
But for me, I think I've shared this with you. I've shared a lot with you.
And vice versa.
Yeah. If I had to pick a favorite game now, I hate to bring it up again, but I also don't. I'd have to say.
Sorry, not sorry.
I had to say Persona 5, and that's just because I've literally been playing it
Oh, nonstop.
nonstop over like the past month, basically, just kind of waiting for Joker to come out. I'm in New Game Plus right now. Merciless. It's kicking my butt. I can't even lie. But it's a great game. Stylized, the characters I absolutely love. There's only really one character I don't like, and it's the stupid cat. And that's just because it's the comedy relief kind of character that I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know those characters.
out of all time, though, if I had to pick a few games that... So, the first thing I ever owned console-wise was an N64 that I got from my cousin. I didn't really play it that much. My parents didn't want me to play it that much, and I understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, like, complaining about that.
As a young child.
Yeah. I had, like, a snowboarding game. I think I had Wave Racer, I think. Something like that. No, was that N64?
That was N64.
Was
It was probably some version of it.
Okay. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then I had Toy Story 2, which, in case you don't know, Toy Story 2 is widely considered to be one of the best movie tie-in games of all time. Going back and playing it, 100% understand. Where's my Toy Story 2 2?
It's just Buzz Lightyear in a tutu.
No, it's a good game.
Yeah.
But the first game, because I played, like, I got a Game Boy Color. And, I had some games on there. I didn't really get enthralled in it. Heck, my first Pokemon game I didn't get until the GameCube. But I got a GBA, and even then I didn't even get it until like after I had a Wii kind of thing. Like I didn't get my first Pokemon game was Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. But I got a Game Boy Advance with Super Mario World Loved it. Beat it a ton. Mario Super Circuit, I think that's what the Mario Kart game is.
Mm-hmm.
And Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest.
Yeah.
Played the crap out of them. But, I was just like, oh, I'd come home, do my homework. I'd play like 2 days out of the entire week. Kind of thing. I didn't play a ton, and I was fine with that. The day I became a gamer.
Gamer moment.
Again, I think I told you the story, and it is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
I was at school. It was, oh gosh, 5th grade, I think? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, man. I was at school. I didn't have my inhaler with me. I'm asthmatic. And I had an asthma episode without my inhaler. So they called my mother. She had an inhaler with me. I took it. Having so much difficulty breathing the entire day, I was exhausted. So my mom was just like, I'll take him home.
Yeah.
It was like 4 hours before school was about to close. So it was like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Took me home, and my mom went to sleep. She was like, you're fine. She was like, do you want to rest? And I'm like, I'll try and sleep for a bit. And I couldn't sleep. I tried to rest on the couch.
Yeah.
We had the Wii hooked up in my living room. Turned that bad boy on. The game that I had been playing with my family, like my brother, my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had played the versus mode, which in case you don't know, you can't unlock anything in the versus mode. And we only had the mushroom flower, I think shell and leaf cup. No, is it shell and leaf cup?
I think so.
Whatever, like the first two starting of the Nitro and the Retro tracks. And we played that and we loved it. We absolutely loved the game. We had all the base characters, all the base vehicles. We literally just played it. The day I became a gamer was I played single player. I beat the Mushroom Cup and the Flower Cup.
Yeah.
And then it happened. I unlocked the Star Cup. And my eyes filled with, what did I just do? And how do I do it again?
The dopamine rush. Yeah.
From that moment on, that is the moment I will consider myself an actual gamer.
Yeah.
I unlocked something and I was like, wow. I was like, I gotta do it again.
Yeah. I totally understand, yeah.
So, yeah, just from like a nostalgic standpoint, again, this is the dumbest thing ever to say out loud. Nostalgic standpoint, one of my favorite games of all time is Mario Kart Wii.
I think a lot of people would say that's one of their favorites.
And it's just, it's a good Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, favorite Mario Kart game, and again, this is dumb because like, oh, Mario Kart Wii is your favorite game. My favorite Mario Kart is Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yeah.
We're going to have a big mix-up over here.
There were so many rumors that the Mario Kart for Switch was going to be a Double Dash remake.
Wish.
Yeah.
The day that comes out is just,
Prayers will be answered.
The GameCube had so many slappers on it. It's like the Wii U. You don't... Well, okay, I can't even say this for the Wii U because no one respects the Wii U now that they're porting everything over to the Switch.
True.
But, like, the GameCube had a ton of slappers. Melee. Mario Kart Double Dash. Sunshine.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Oh,
Mm.
I would say Twilight Princess, but that actually released on the Wii first, fun fact.
Yes. Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies.
Absolute
10 out of 10.
Perfect.
Game of the year. Game of every year. Game of the century.
But but like it had so many slappers, and I feel bad that it wasn't as big of a hit as I personally think it should be. Because like going back and playing some of these games, it's just like, wow. A lot of these games are just really good. And yeah, some of them have aged kind of poorly. Have you played Super Mario Sunshine recently?
Yeah.
The physics are literally bottom notch.
Not gonna lie.
They're not good. But it's just going back. And I guess rose-tinted lenses and all that. Like, oh, you're just nostalgia blind. Yeah, but I'm happy.
Shoot me.
And just like,
Yeah.
I mean, like what they were. Don't get me wrong, please, Nintendo. I like the 3DS. Do not remake games and put them on the 3DS.
Interesting perspective from me. The only games I wish they would remake on the Switch and bundle them together are the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes.
That would be nice.
I think that would be really good in a bundle on the Switch. It could sell really well because Grezzo did an amazing job porting those from the N64.
My only issue with that is I actually really like the 3DS versions.
Oh, I love the 3DS versions. My standpoint is just there's no way to record it unless you have like $500 to drop on a capture
But
card.
having the bottom screen be
the map and your health and your items.
Yeah, that was so good.
Especially with the iron boots.
It fixed so many problems with the original game because, and I think this is like common opinion now, but like I stand by this. The N64 controller sucks. It's not great.
Yeah.
Is it nostalgic to hold it? Yeah, but is it
Does
good?
it make you feel like a gamer? Heck yes.
Does that make it good?
No.
But
yeah.
I really wish they would like remake some of the game because like what they just remade Luigi's Mansion
On the 3DS.
put it
of all
on the
consoles.
3DS.
That I found interesting. They didn't put on the Switch
I am too.
because they already had Dark Moon.
Yeah,
But I think it's because they're developing Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch.
I am excited. I am a huge Luigi's Mansion fan.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the mission structure in Dark Moon.
Well, yeah,
I think.
but they haven't announced if that's coming back, have
Yeah.
they? So like,
No, they haven't.
yeah, so it's kind of just like speculation at this point.
Yeah.
Kind of like Fire Emblem Three Houses.
You want a good game to play by Atlas?
Y-
Drone Tactics, Nintendo DS.
Oh well, yeah.
Fire Emblem with bug mechs.
Yeah, I've heard of that game. a
That
lot.
game, that is one of my favorites.
I will admit, I may not be into all the like weeb stuff. Like, I'm not into like Japan or anime or anything like that.
I'm not into the country of Japan as a whole.
But they can, they can make some really good games.
Oh, absolutely.
But on the contrary, some of
They can also make really bad games.
yeah. Did you actually know this? And I didn't know this until like what? I actually beat Persona and saw it in the credits. Look it up real quick. Is Atlas owned by Sega?
I could believe it.
I actually, because, okay, so whenever you finish Persona, it said Atlas and Sega. And I'm not sure if they own it or if they just.
Yes.
They
Atlas
do?
is a subsidiary of Sega.
Okay, so.
They
hey.
they probably started as a
They started as an
company
individual developer.
and it was probably bought out by Sega.
I'm pretty sure.
after Sega became a developer.
Actually, if I remember correctly, Atlas.
It says Wikipedia says it existed as a company from 1986 until 2010 until it was
So it was
dissolved.
more recently bought out.
When it was dissolved, the name brand Atlas continued as a brand until 2013, and Atlas in its current incarnation was founded as Sega Dream Corporation. So
I remember that.
they went
There were
they
so
went
many.
bankrupt and then they got named into Atlas.
There were so many companies that were trying to shut down Atlas, and I don't remember why. If I remember correctly, there were a bunch of corporations or like bigger game developers that were trying to either, I think it was buy out or just like kind of just crush Atlas beneath their heel kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I love that company. They make so many good games.
They really do. Yeah.
But
Well, I think this was a very successful episode.
I think it
of
was good.
Bouncecast. Before we go, I'd like to get your opinions on the Star Wars trailer
I
that just came out today.
Really?
Star Wars Episode 9. Are you a Star Wars fan, Nathan?
yes, I would say so.
Do you like the new trilogy?
What is the new trilogy exactly?
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and then this one. Are you a fan of the characters?
Genuinely no, and that opinion is, I mean, it's not as controversial, but it is.
Yeah.
The reason I dislike it is a bit controversial. I would love to share it though.
Feel free.
The reason I don't like it, and I actually got this from my aunt because I went to go see it with my aunt. My aunt is a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of those people that has an R2D2 trash can in her in her like kitchen.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty big Star Wars fan. She said something and it hit me. I'm not a cinematic snob kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll critique a movie if it's bad.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not like one of those people that goes in like, that camera angle was disgusting. But my aunt is more like that.
More analytical.
Yeah, I went into it and I was like, you know what? It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen, but I enjoyed The Force Awakens personally. But then she said something, and it hit me in a certain way that I was like, you know what? I can't deny that. And now that I hear that out loud, it kind of makes me not like The Force Awakens as much.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think I've shared this. I shared it back when it came out.
I think this is a popular opinion. If you're saying what I think.
It's a New Hope.
Yeah, that's a very popular
But
opinion online.
It's a New Hope, not bad, mind you.
No.
It's a really nice.
Well, the structure itself is
Well, yeah, New
structure.
Hope is a great movie. Like,
Absolutely.
copying a good movie is nothing bad. My problem is, it's a New Hope with pandering.
Yes, I'll give you that.
They took Mark Hamill, great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I understand that he couldn't come back for like the movie and be the main character again. Obviously, but they replaced him with a female.
Mary Sue.
Yeah, and a black guy.
See, I'm not as.
I'm not upset about the black guy. No.
I don't mind that as much that they're making the stormtroopers real people instead of clones.
Yes, no,
because
yeah.
that kind of adds
character.
Another subtext of child soldiers being
Mm-hmm.
raised as soldiers. I kind of like that.
Oh, I liked him as a character.
I like Finn as a character because it kind of shows the mindset of what would happen if a stormtrooper who wasn't indoctrinated realized what he was doing.
But you use that word very well. Mary Sue. Mary Sue is a term that it's a character that's just good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can do no wrong. And I think that hits Rey right on the head.
I don't mind that as much. Just because we haven't seen all of what Rey's character is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, once episode 9 comes out, we're going to have a full, complete perspective on what they're trying to do. So right now, I still think there might be a little bit of story element as to why this is all happening.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the episode 9 title, Rise of the Skywalker, or whatever. The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
That's probably either going to be Kylo Ren or Rey. Let's be honest.
All right.
But
Good.
I just think if people say she's a Mary Sue and then say Anakin is the best defined character,
I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, I know, but
Please!
some people will defend Anakin and then hate on Rey when essentially they're the same character gender swapped, because their parents are from nothing, but they have all this Force stuff and they're the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. They're essentially the same character.
Yeah.
So if they don't do something special with Rey's parents and just leave it as Rian Johnson made it in The Last Jedi, then I can see the Mary Sue
That's what
argument.
I was about to say. Force Awakens, she wasn't that bad of a Mary Sue. Was she like?
I actually enjoyed her character.
Yeah. Like I liked Force Awakens as its own movie. I was like, you know what, Kylo Ren's pretty sick.
It was an enjoyable, fun journey.
Last Jedi kind of made her
Whiny.
Yeah.
I like The Last Jedi as a movie. I'm not sure my opinion on it as fitting into the trilogy, but I like it as a Star Wars movie.
I like the meme that came out of it, the one of Mark Hamill
with the blue milk.
No, well, I mean that one, but Mark Hamill, the sacred text. I love that so much.
I love how they took the character of Luke Skywalker and threw him on his head. Like this, instead of keeping him as this wise, noble Yoda figure, they actually showed what would happen if his world came crumbling down and all his beliefs were just shattered. it shows him as a broken shell of a man, which if you follow the story, that makes entire sense.
Oh, yeah.
Everything he built to this point is destroyed by Kylo Ren, and then the First Order comes back and it's like
His
nothing ever
nephew.
happened. It's like the First Order comes back, the Empire's back, nothing ever happened, nothing he did mattered. Because the Force, the light side and the dark side doesn't matter because the Force is equal.
If there was one thing that I could 100% praise The Force Awakens on, I actually really liked how, besides Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say cameo, like obviously
Supporting role.
They had parts, and especially Mark Hamill's at the end kind of thing.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I like that they weren't like
I
infused into the plot.
like how they didn't rely on them.
Yes.
Basically at all. Like basically
I mean, Harrison Ford didn't show up until halfway through the movie.
showing the old characters awesome. Because you know it gets that nostalgia build up.
Completes-
You're like
brings
you're
it
like-
full circle.
You're like, wow, I know these people. But then like what, spoilers for an old movie, Harrison Ford dies.
Yeah.
And it's like
Harrison Ford dies in real life. He's 80.
so they don't rely on him at all.
Yeah.
Because they have him for like he appears like
He's in there enough for
Halfway
his
through.
death to mean something.
yeah, and then he's like, oh okay, dead, and it's like sweet, and it's like they didn't rely on that, and I actually really like that because I hate it when franchises that are like continuations or like I guess spiritual successors.
They just use everything from the old movie
they try and hit nostalgia.
instead of running as its own.
Yeah, they try
thing.
and poke it like, hey, remember this?
Yep.
Oh, look, it's Jimmy. Oh, remember Jimmy? Wasn't he an awesome character?
Yeah.
Let's have him be the wise mentor character for the entire thing.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
No, I've not made time to watch it, but
That's
Evie
really
and
good.
Olivia went through it, and I saw a couple episodes.
That was one of my biggest issues with The Legend of Korra. And I can't even say that they relied on the old characters too much. Like, they showed off all the old characters, obviously, besides Aang, because,
Yeah.
can't have one avatar without, like, you can't have one avatar and have another at the same
Yeah.
time kind of thing. But, like, they had a bunch of the old characters, and I feel like, for the most part, they kind of relied on that a bit. We're not going to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
The movie.
No. I mean, we're not going to talk about that
Oh,
either.
yeah.
But we're not going to talk.
Too long, yeah.
Yeah. Frankly, though, I do think this was actually really nice. I feel like
I like this format.
I like it too. Just being able to talk. I like how our video still isn't
It's at 18%, and we started it like an hour ago.
sick.
Hey, as long as Premiere gets it done, it gets it done. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
So, yeah, I think we should do this again sometime.
I feel like we should too. This is
Yeah.
actually a really nice little segment because it just allows us to like share. Like,
Well,
hey,
we aren't under a time crunch. We can just talk, and
we get to talk
Yeah.
about like, hey, what games have you played recently? Kinda
and you guys get to see how we function as a duo.
Also, it shows how our opinions may not be the
The best.
best.
We may not be.
I may be an elite gamer, but my favorite game is Mario Kart Wii. So what opinion? What? Why
Come
do
at me, haters.
my opinions don't matter?
Hate
Let's
ours.
be honest.
All right, so we're gonna end this podcast on
Yeah.
the teaser for Star Wars Episode 9.
Well, we can't play that on the podcast.
Those of you listening, just imagine you're watching Star Wars
Yeah,
Episode
just
9.
kind of like, hey, yeah.
You'll hear the audio. Here we go.
Very careful. I think this is a crime.
Pitch shifted. We'll just mute the audio. There's Rey.
Yes,
Yeah, you can
I know
see.
who that is.
But you see she has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber again.
Yep.
Because it shattered in The Last Jedi. That's Mark Hamill.
Yes, I know who Mark is.
Okay. Come at me.
Is
That's Han Solo's gun.
Is that Tatooine?
I'm not... No, I don't think it is. I don't think Tatooine had mountains. I think it was all desert.
You're right.
It might be Jakku.
You mean from...
From The Force Awakens, she might be going back to
All right.
find hints of her parents again.
It has been a while.
I love how they use the real life locations.
It has been a while since I've seen The Force Awakens.
That movie, as soon as the title went on, I got a smile on my face. But this right here, that's I'm pretty sure it's Kylo Ren's TIE fighter.
Huh. Now this is pod racing.
That's an A-wing. Here's Kylo Ren. That is bad. Like, censor myself. That's really cool. This is Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian.
Actually, I'll be honest. I talked about how I didn't like them relying on old characters.
Wait. I just noticed something. Sorry.
C-3PO's there.
My
lad.
I think that's Poe Dameron in the speeder.
Who?
Oscar Isaac, Poe.
Oh.
The Han Solo guy. I think that's
Yeah.
him and Finn. So I think they're on the Jakku planet too. Maybe they're trying to find a place for a new resistance base. But anyways.
I'm sorry. I mentioned this. I am glad that they brought back Lando Calrissian. Or
Yeah.
It kind of fleshed him out a bit.
Yeah.
More than the Solo movie did, if I may add.
I was a fan of the Solo movie.
I'm not saying I wasn't a fan.
I just feel like if I say that out loud in public, I'll get murdered.
Well, yeah.
I enjoyed the guy who played Han Solo, and I enjoyed it as a fun, just, let's go watch this movie kind of thing.
Sorry, I keep pausing it.
You're good. But this, do you know what that is?
A foot.
That's the Death Star radar dish.
Oh.
Do you see that?
No, I did not. Go back. Hold on.
This is the planet where the Death Star crashed. This was actually, if you go to The Force Awakens, the not promotional art, the concept art. One of the concepts for the story was the Death Star crashed on an ocean world, and the Millennium Falcon had to go underwater to go into the tower where Luke faced off against the Emperor of the Death Star. So it's interesting that J.J. Abrams is bringing it back. This is 100% a chunk of the Death Star. Because there's the laser firing dish with the center cut out, and this is like the side of the planet with all the little... There's the trench right there.
I do have to add, this is just kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sad that we're probably not going to get Star Wars Episode X.
That's always going to bother me. That's always going to bother me.
Come on, Star Wars X. It's like,
It's just a bunch of buff dudes running around shooting.
Star Wars Extreme. It's just like, come on.
I love it.
Sorry, I had to go
If you
ahead.
hear, listen right here.
Is that the Blad? Is that my boy? Is that Palpatone? Chancellor Palpatone's back, my lads.
Isn't it just interesting that they show the Death Star and then
Yeah.
Palpatine? I think I heard someone say that they saw Ian McDiarmid at the script reading. Everyone's like, Snoke is Palpatine. I'm like, no.
No, Snoke gets Palpatine.
I would have liked to know who Snoke was.
I was about to say, yeah, I really wish they fleshed out Snoke a bit more,
That
but you know,
would have been nice.
Palpatine, like,
The comments. Oh, jeez. Well, thank you for joining us on this inaugural episode of Bouncecast.
is that what we're gonna call it? Bouncecast?
Well, is there a better name?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, this was kind of like out of the blue, like we were just talking.
Next
about,
time
like,
on Bouncepad, we'll figure out the name of this podcast.
I mean, I like Bouncecast. It's just, you know, what, Bounce Padcast?
Trampoline.
Wait, what was my name for it? Oh goodness, what was it? Codpast? No, but yeah, this is kind of a trial episode. Like,
Just to see if it would work out, and I think it did.
yeah, no,
We'll see if you guys like it.
I don't know how long this has been going, but you know,
Right now we're at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
hey, that's not too bad.
But yeah, if you guys like this, give us a like, give us a comment, what you think you like, what
Yeah.
you think we should do better, and we'll definitely read them. And yeah, subscribe. Get the word out. Tell all your friends. Bouncepad's back.
Bouncepad is indeed back.
And we'll have some new stuff coming out for you guys pretty soon. So thank you for joining us.
Follow me on SoundCloud.
All right, I'm Elliot,
I'm Nathan.
and we'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.
Peace.